She told me, put my heart in the bag and nobody gets hurt. Now I'm running from the law. I'm not fast, so I'm making it worse. Now I'm digging up a grave for my past. I'm a whole different person. It's a gift and a curse, but I cannot reverse it. My name's Harley Neville. Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast.
And I'm Guy Pigden. Who was that?
That was Juice WRLD, talented up-and-comer. Juice WRLD, from his song, I don't know, but it's his popular one.
Cool.
So we're back.
We're back. We've been away. We've been away for a couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, well, Liam Hegarty is baying for fucking blood again. 5150 listener, Liam Hegarty is irate on the internet, raging.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that, Liam. We are doing our best here, but, you know, some people are busy. Some people are working all the time. Got no time for podcasting anymore. Yep,
it is an issue. It's definitely an issue. So, first thing we better do is we better have a couple of shout-outs because we can't open the beers until we do the shout-outs. Mm-hmm. So, it's very important that we do the shout-outs at the beginning of the show. Now, so we'd better shout out to Bevan and Irene, the beer sponsors of this week's episode of the Guy and Harley podcast, episode 141. They have kindly provided some birthday beers to Guy, which we are going to consume live on the show. Now, they're wrapped up. Now, they're strictly speaking, they're yours, Guy, so I'll let you start unraveling those.
Well, I was like, what do we go first? Because there's a can-shaped...
a large can-shaped one.
And then there's a bottle-shaped one. And so I'm really torn by which to go with, but I think I'm going to go with the can because it feels colder, and I loves me a cold brewski.
And who doesn't, especially a birthday brewski.
So thank you very much, Bevan, for your contribution to this podcast. I'm just opening it now, and you know the suspense I'm sure is killing everyone. What brand is it? What beer is it? Who? What's going on here? It's called. Oh boy. You want to have a go at that one?
Hi, boy. I'm guessing it's Russian. Irene is Russian. So thank you very much for the... You're part Russian. You should be able to speak it.
I know. I should, but I'm very... And it's a lager beer, apparently, so that's good. It's also in a ridiculously large can.
Yeah.
It's
a litre.
It's a big can, but it's bigger than a normal big can.
Irene actually reckons that we should start a new segment where the listeners send us different beers to critique. And that sounds like a fucking genius idea if you ask me. So if you guys want to tell us which beers to buy and PayPal us some money, you can do that. All you need is the PayPal email address pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. Go to PayPal, use the email address pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. Tell us what you want us to drink. Is it Ranfurly Draft? Is it Double Brown? Is it Tasman Bitter? What's it going to be? What do you want us to consume? We'll do it live on the show.
So our first,
we'll shout you out for it too.
Our first assessment is of Huibakui from
Here we go.
From the motherland.
Tastes delicious, but I did also just brush my teeth, so
I've just had an ice cream.
It's cold and it's wet, and it's bubbly.
It's cold and it's wet, just the way I like it.
Yes. So, shout out to Darren Moss, aka Hooter, who also gave us some beers another time as well on the show. I got another couple of shout outs here. Dean Young, Soundy, stumbled upon it, and he's a Soundy, and he stumbled upon our podcast, and he thought on iTunes, and he thought, hey, I know these fucking guys. So for about 6 months, he's been watching, he's been waiting in the shadows for this shout out. So shout out to you, and shout out to Wazza and Wazza's Mrs. Wazza. I just heard that she has joined the ranks of the 5150. They listen together. Isn't that romantic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So welcome, Mrs. Wazza. I respect your husband immensely. So Yeah, what's new? What's going on?
Well, so last episode, if you'll recall, I was talking about my London trip, and we kind of got a little bit sidetracked by dedicating almost the entire episode to Game of Thrones season 8 analysis and critique.
We did not give it as much attention as it deserved. It should have been an entire episode.
Season 8?
Yeah, Game
rather
of Thrones,
than 2/3 of an episode.
Rather than the last third of an arse end of a show. People were loving that. I got feedback from Wazza and somebody else who I can't remember right now, who was loving the Game of Thrones part of it.
Well,
I remember Jason Coombs. Shout out Jason Coombs, Jason P. Diddy Coombs, who wanted us to export it as a standalone thing and release it as like bonus content, just the Game of Thrones bit, and I did, and it's out there. You can go listen to it.
Yes, so I got I got a lot of positive feedback as well. People were sort of feeling our stance that actually...
You mean in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
No, yeah.
Except 5150 listener Will Fleming, dear friend, who is responsible for getting me a lot of employment, and great dude all around. We always have some good discussions and analysis. Now, he was in a great hurry. He was doing a drive-by to pick up some gear from me. And then he broached the Game of Thrones, and things escalated. Things really escalated.
Shit got real.
And essentially, it made him very, very late for everything else he had to do that day, because he had to just stay there for an hour
and fight with
and debate me on Game of Thrones. And I really feel like he was one of the people that we were criticizing. Particularly, I guess, in the idea that he felt entitled to certain things. He felt entitled to certain things with the investment of these characters. As a whole, you don't get that, son. It's not what you get here at Game of Thrones. We kill people. Yeah, we do unexpected things. Yeah. We don't give you happy fairy tale endings. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
And he just could not accept that. And
it's totally in keeping with killing off main characters and stuff. It's like they just killed off main storylines. They're like, yeah, all right, well, in the end, Daenerys doesn't get it, You kill people off, kill off storylines.
He had a big problem with that, and he had a big problem with Daenerys going crazy. And I was like...
She's seen her best friend be chopped in half.
She was just a little drunk with power. She went crazy.
Well, also, this is not the same sweet girl that we met at the beginning. She has matured and, some would say, rotted a little.
Yeah.
Turned
into a major B.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Power corrupts.
Yeah. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Y'all know that. Y'all fucking know that.
Deep.
Why the hell?
Speak on it.
Why the hell is Daenerys exempt from this? Because it's a woman, and we're all into this whole...
Well, I don't think it's a woman thing.
Well, isn't it a championing, though, of, female characters, and now we're like, but now she's bad?
Well, I think the issue is just that a much-loved character suddenly went bad, regardless of gender. Could have been Jon. If Jon had suddenly started going bad, you know what I mean?
He also had a big problem with Jon, killing Daenerys, and he was like, well... Spoiler alert.
Well, I think, yeah.
We're past.
People know.
But he's like, we're,
sorry.
He
Hurry up and get caught up, fuck yeah.
So, yeah,
it's not our fucking fault.
It's
Jesus.
not our problem.
What do
you want from us? I was late to the game.
Yeah.
And I've still watched it. But he was like, that goes against what Jon Snow did. And I was like, hey, you remember the last time Jon Snow tried to be a good dude and just believe in the good in everyone? He got stabbed 500 freaking times and died, and they had to bring him back as zombie John. So do you really think after that experience and after all that he's seen and learnt, for him as a character not to develop would just to be like, no, she's my queen. She's my queen. I serve my queen. That's all.
Especially after he did see what she did.
Yeah.
He's seen all the burnt children.
And then he had a conversation, a very deep and meaningful conversation where he's like, no, Danny, we can't do this, Danny.
We can't do it. We can't do it.
We can't do it,
Danny. I'm Scottish now. We can't do it.
And she was like, yes, they will all serve. for the greater good under me. We'll make them all learn.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And so he had to do it.
Which, if you ask me, was a very brave thing to do.
It was kill or be killed, man.
Well, you can't...
Be or be killed twice.
That would be so tough to do that, because you could be like, yeah, baby, fuck it. Let's just you and me roll together. It'll be all good.
Let's burn this world to the ground, y'all.
No. He would still be trying to generally she'd probably still be overall a pretty good leader compared to like a lot of others.
Yeah.
Even with her mean burning of cities occasionally.
And also, he was also...
Impaling of people and so on.
He was
crucifying.
He was like... and also, what's her name? What's the little kid who's got no name? But she does have a name. Yeah. So he was like...
Keep up, brother.
Oh, well, what's going... I forget all their names. He was like, oh, what's up with her? Like, she's got... Like, what happened to her? And I was like, she killed the Night King.
She killed the Night King.
She freaking killed the main baddie of 7 seasons.
And she took out the phrase.
The 7 seasons.
She removed an entire house from the equation.
So, yeah, I think she did quite a lot, really.
Yeah.
Some might say she did a significant amount.
It's lucky that she learned all that stuff over that grueling training in all those seasons.
Yeah. But anyway, so we've got
We'll move on
again. But anyway, Will, obviously he has no recourse. He has to recourse on his podcast.
Yeah.
We're starting up the podcast feud again.
Yeah, podcast beef.
But
what's the name of his podcast?
It is Please Blow My Mind.
Go check that out.
And we did blow his mind with our commentary on Game of Thrones season 8.
Go listen to Guy's episode. That Guy got interviewed on Please Blow My Mind. Go listen to that.
We blew his mind, and he didn't want his mind blown. He wanted it to remain intact. But we blew it, and he couldn't deal.
Right.
So sorry, Will, but
he does listen.
He does listen.
Oh, that's good. Shout out, Will.
And I would love for him to be able to respond, but unfortunately this is our podcast, so we can make it seem like we're right.
See ya.
Although I should also mention that on his podcast he did mention a little bit to his next guest, and his next guest was like, oh yeah, I saw you talking with that guy. I thought you were talking with Andy Serkis.
Ah, so they thought you were Andy Serkis.
So they thought
that you look like Andy Serkis.
Looked like friggin' Gollum.
Well, to be honest, I can see the resemblance.
I'm not liking where you're going.
There's also some King Kong. There's some wee bit of King Kong in there. You're like King Kong combined with Gollum.
King Kong as well.
You're Gollum Kong. I can see it.
Yeah, so I took great offense.
Yeah. Well, why? He's not like a bad looking dude or anything. I met him once.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
I've always found to be quite ugly.
Oh, I don't really... I mean...
now I look like him.
Yeah. That's mean.
It's like when you get compared to Danny DeVito.
I met him at the... You were there probably that day. Remember many moons ago, we went to the King Kong rap party. We got in because our mate Nick worked on the movie, and Rogan, they worked on the movie.
Didn't he
and
whisper
then Guy
in
and
your ear,
I...
my precious.
He whispered in my ear, you better fear me, dear, for I am death. And then... but I wanted him to do a voice message on my phone, being Gollum, but I didn't think about it until afterwards. I should have thought about it in my brief interaction with him.
Anyway, seemed like a lovely guy. Lovely, ugly guy who I look nothing like. Lovely, not very attractive man who I don't look like one single fucking bit, alright? How the fuck do you get what?
You're more of a contemporary Russell Crowe.
Yes. Thank you. That's right. There we go.
I guess you don't know what contemporary means.
What, you mean fat?
Well, I mean now.
Russell Crowe now is still better looking.
He is a fat bearded man.
Oh, I actually haven't seen like a recent
I saw
photo.
A picture of him a little while ago. He's fat. Like he looks like Peter Jackson. He's Peter Jackson in his bad years.
Oh, right.
That's where Russell's at now.
Okay, well, so I haven't seen him recently, so I can't really comment on that. But I would still take fat Russell Crowe over thin Andy Serkis.
Okay, all right.
So that's where I'm sitting on that one. So yeah, it's just one of those things that really puts a big dent in your ego because you walk around thinking you're presenting yourself a certain way and believing you look a certain way, and then someone just comes and shits all over that and really rearranges your thoughts on how you look to the rest of the world.
Mm.
He literally believed it. He wasn't joking. Like, he wasn't like...
He was like, yeah, I saw that episode with you and Andy Serkis.
And he was like, I thought you'd made it because you were interviewing Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
But actually, it was this
loser. It was some misogynistic wrestler.
This loser who, yes, Andy Serkis.
I'd go with Andy Serkis, personally. So
then fat Russell Crowe. No way, bro.
Yeah.
He's got Russell Crowe's got a nice, lovable face.
Yeah.
You just want to give a...
She has more than twice our guns, more than twice our numbers, and we must stop her. That's my Russell Crowe.
For anybody who does not know that quote, which is
that
everybody.
That was a pretty bad impersonation. But that is from, Masters and Salesman.
Master and Commander.
That's the one.
But anyway, we've got a little sidetracked here,
again,
so let's
back on track. Back on track.
So,
we're a very serious episode, people.
Very serious episode. So when we finished talking, we sort of talked about Game of Thrones. We talked a little bit about my trip to London, and what we should sort of mention.
You went to London to shoot a documentary.
I went to London to shoot a documentary. I went to London to shoot a documentary on my uncle who has...
Fuck, we dick around.
MSA, and it was a very sort of like I said, it was sad, it was emotional, it was it I guess helped. I think you said that it would help me grow as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you mentioned that
before you left.
Yeah,
it was one of my parting words of wisdom.
And it certainly,
I gave him a hug, and he was like, oh. He acted surprised I was going to give him a hug before he left to go to the other side of the world.
I was like, what do you want, cunt?
You're like, gay?
What's this shit?
And no, I gave him some words of wisdom, and amongst them was...
And, I think that is a...
what did I say again?
That it would help me grow as a human being.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think it did. Or, I mean, I don't know if it did, but it certainly helped. I think... To create a piece of material like this documentary is certainly a mature step, and it is trying to do something for good as opposed to for personal egotistical gratification, which obviously most of our stuff is for, right?
Well, we can still claim some of all of that, though.
Claim... You can claim some
egotistical stuff.
Oh.
We can still claim it when the doco's finished.
Oh, of course, I'm sure.
We can cash it in, and we can get the best of both worlds here.
Possibly. But, it wasn't my... normally my driving force behind creating something is to tell a story that I want to tell. And for this, the driving force was to try and tell my uncle's story and to try and help him in a small way, that I could, because I was a filmmaker, I had filmmaking skills, and I could apply those to his situation. And I sort of, one of the last things I did, I took a photo with him. We had a little chuckle. He gave me a hug, and it's very hard for him to hug anyone, but I gave him a big hug, and he sort of put his arms up to try and hug me back. And he said sort of thank you for coming, and that was it. And then we had a couple of email conversations afterwards. He very generously donated some money to his own documentary. And that was the last email he sent to me, was basically he said that, thank you so much for coming. It was really, awesome to see you, and it was really good that we got to do that. And we want to help, and so here's some money. And I sort of said, thanks. I loved being there and all that sort of thing. And I'm not sure that this giving me money is a good idea, because yes, it'll be easy to spend, but it's your own documentary. And that was the last conversation we had. And then probably maybe a day after that, the last thing that he did was he liked my close personal friend's Facebook page.
Alex Savage.
He liked Alex Savage Wrestler. And that was sort of the last sort of interaction. And then about a day after that, I was Ubering at 5:30 in the morning, and I got a text from my mum, and she said that he had passed away. So 5 days after I got home, he passed away. And he passed away. It was a very sort of a quick decline. He went to stay at a hospice for a while just to give my aunt, his wife, some respite, because she was his sole carer and she sort of needed a break. So the idea was that he was going to go into this hospice for a week. What actually happened is that he was there for about a day and a half, and I think that they really struggled to take care of him. Sort of all the things that he was concerned about was that they wouldn't take enough time to understand what he was saying. They wouldn't be able to. They're understaffed and they wouldn't be able to care properly for him. All of those things that he was worried about sort of came true, and he was not feeling very good. And so Kate, his wife, came and took him back, and he was not feeling very good. He sort of perked up a little bit, and then the next day he was again like very, very ill. They asked if he wanted to go to hospital, and he said no, he didn't want to go to hospital. And he sort of made it clear that, if he was having trouble, breathing difficulties, that sort of thing, and it was most likely a chest infection, but he sort of made it clear that he didn't want to go to hospital and that he'd rather stay at home. And so he sort of essentially just passed away that day. Very much his choice, I guess. And so now the documentary takes on a sort of a very different feeling, because obviously I thought that there was a chance that he might pass away before I finished it, but I didn't think it would be so soon after I got back. And it is very shocking because he did seem as fine as you could be in that condition, and he seemed very stable. He didn't seem sick, and it just goes to show how fragile his body was at that time. And so I guess now the documentary, I imagined, as you sort of do, I imagined a lot of happy endings, in the sense that I imagined that I would continue to collaborate with him about it. So I would send him rough cuts for his feedback and stuff like that. And I would also send him, like, one of the things that I sort of really am sort of gutted about is that I didn't get to show him all the interviews of the people that I interviewed.
Yeah.
Saying all the stuff about him, because I thought he would have found it very interesting.
Yeah, of course you would, wouldn't you?
And, it was all very good stuff. And so he didn't get a chance to see that, and, that I think really sucks. But it also just sucks because, you sort of imagine the best case scenario, not the worst case scenario. You imagine that he can share in this thing that he's been part of and that he's sort of facilitated, and he can't. And also for me, I guess if we're talking about ego and validation, I was making it for him to validate me by telling me that by being proud of the documentary, or by being happy that his story was told. That's really was my goal, which, obviously is no longer possible. And so, I look at all this footage now, and it's kind of like dipping into a well of grief every time, because every time you see all this stuff and all these things, and it's no longer present tense, it's all past tense. This was a thing, this was a moment in time, and now you're sort of telling the story of a ghost. So it was very, very sad. And, I think that for him, he decided it was his sort of time to, like, he wasn't going to keep fighting, and I think that was probably for the best for a lot of reasons. But it's still, a kind of a huge shock, even though, it was sort of inevitable. And you know, one of the last things that I said to him too, I was like, well, you got to stick around for me to finish this documentary. And he said, well, I'll do my best. So I don't know, it all just has taken on a sort of a different feeling. And yes, it's not often that I don't kind of look at that footage and make my selections and have a little cry. But I just wanted to salute my uncle. Like, I think that you meet people in your life and you have interactions with people in your life, and they don't necessarily realize the influence that they've had on your life. To them, I was this kid who came over from this naive kid from Dunedin who came over to London, who was, trying to make it in the film industry and probably had some pretty far-fetched ideas about how good he was and how he was going to make it and all this sort of thing. And he did his best to help me, and he did his best to help me learn how to live in London and sort of get by. And he did his best to get me into the film industry, and he did, through his sort of contacts, get me a job as a runner and get my script looked at by an agent and producers and all this sort of thing. So he did a lot for me, and I've sort of my life has crisscrossed with his before that and after it, but, only briefly and in passing. And so for him, I don't think that he would have seen our interactions as very super significant. I was probably just someone that he was quite fond of, that, from time to time was a great pain in his ass when he was sort of trying to help me out. And I was just this young, silly kid.
Annoying shithead.
Annoying shithead, yes, thank you. But he did have a huge influence on me in my life, and a profound effect, and something, someone's opinion that I always admired and respected, and always sort of wondered, could I get a chuckle out of him today? Could I, get his advice on this? What will he think of this next version of the script? What will he think of Older? What will he think of...
Did you show him or
I did show him Older.
Oh, that's great. That's real nice. That's awesome.
And he did watch it, and he said that he enjoyed it. He said it was much more his cup of tea than the zombie film.
Yeah.
And that some very nice compliment. But he basically said the line between directing and the sort of line between directing and storytelling seemed very effortless and invisible. So... And that seemed like a no mean feat, was basically, I think, roughly what he said. So I know, that's cool that he got a chance to watch that as well. He also watched my close personal friend Alex Savage's wrestling, and thought that was quite...
Oh, I haven't even seen that. Well, you got fucking videos of it that you're not sharing.
I've got
videos that you're not sharing with your bestie.
Oh, I can't share them online, so you have to look at them privately on our Vimeo account. But you can watch them on our Vimeo account.
Yeah. No, I don't want to anymore. Fuck it.
But yeah, so I think my uncle was someone who was a huge influence. A very kind, loving, super smart guy. I hope that, this documentary, more people will get to see that and get to see also how hard that he was sort of fighting to get by. And I also did want to just say one last thing, which is, well, two things, I guess, which is that, when you think about being in that condition where you have to be fed, you have to be taken care of entirely, you have to be monitored, it's very hard for you to go out. You have all these sort of inconveniences, and you have all these, like, if you want a sip of your coffee, you can't get a sip of your coffee. If you want to scratch your nose, you can't scratch your nose. If you want to wipe your eye, you can't wipe your eye. Someone else has to do that. If you want someone to understand what you're saying, you will have to sit there with them for many, many minutes trying to say a sentence. And you go, well, why would you want to stay alive in that sort of condition? And, he said that one of his primary reasons is because he had a family and he wanted to be there for his family. But I also think that it's easy for us healthy people to say after a certain point, oh, yeah, I'd check out, I'd rather end it than be in that condition. But it's like, that's the condition between life. Like, there are no take backs of ending your life. Once you make that decision, it is final. If you don't like infinite nothingness, then you don't ever have that opportunity to go, oh, well, actually it was, I'd rather go through those inconveniences and get up and see the new day, and so, yeah, this idea that, life's not worth living. Well, when is life not worth living? Because it's not just the difference between, life and something else. It's between life and non-existence. And I think that's a way bigger decision when you really weigh it up of whether you should keep going, because there's a lot of things that you might want to keep going for. He also was watching Star Wars. He'd just finished watching Star Wars. We watched Star Wars together just before I left. And he was about to get to Empire Strikes Back. He's obviously seen them before, but I don't think he made it through Empire. And also the other thing that I think that is worth pointing out is people talking about the universe. Well, if you just open your mind and will yourself, the universe will provide. I just think having gone through this whole experience, and I haven't gone through it, having documented this experience, and I've thought this before, but I've never thought it more acutely. People that talk about the universe and the mysticism and it all being about your mindset and the way you present things and the way you look at things and how that all flows back to you is the biggest load of shit. Yeah. The most contrived.
How can you live with yourself, you shitbag? Stop saying shit like that.
But I just don't think that anyone with such a horrible illness or any type of sort of terminal illness
wants to hear anything like that.
And also, you could never justify it again. Now, I don't wish upon you, a terminal illness, so you realize how fucking dumb those statements are. But it could happen to you. It could happen. That's unfortunately the truest part. Well, your poem's all good, but the truest part of your poem is the universe is indifferent.
Which poem?
The one where you say that.
I don't know.
Gravity, I think you say. You say the universe is cold and indifferent.
Cold and uncaring.
Oh, cold and uncaring.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
which means we're alone and it's scary.
But it also means that any of us could get this. Could be in any of our futures. It's not because we will this or we have a positive mindset or because we eat healthily.
Yeah, so fuck all you pseudoscience and fucking nut jobs. Fuck you all. Harden up. The universe doesn't give a shit, and you can think what you want. The only way that thoughts affect reality is when you act on them. So if you think positive thoughts, that will result in you acting upon them, and your life will get better. But you can't change some things. There are some things that no matter how positively you think, you can't change. Yeah, and that's where it gets silly.
And this is one of those situations. So, but I just want you to spare a thought. Anyone who's thinking about the universe and letting the universe manipulate
guide you,
universe to your ways, because you know that it's the mindset. It's all about the mindset. It's not about the fucking mindset, man. You might get cancer and you might fucking die, or you might not. Right? Nobody fucking knows.
Lovely episode,
But
favorite episode yet.
But you've just got to fucking deal with that shit and not put that pompous shit onto other people, because I guarantee they don't want to hear it.
Amen.
Alrighty. What's been going on?
Well, if you want to stay... Should we stay negative for a second? Should we just stay negative?
I just RIP to my uncle and have a drink for my uncle. Have a toast. We would pour out some drink, but instead we'll drink it. Because that's a better use of it.
I'm going to drink one. I'm going to pour the other one out on my keyboard.
So,
now, if you want to stay negative for another little bit...
I didn't want to, but okay.
Okay, well, look, do you want to talk about the recent rejection letter that we got?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it's an update. This is a filmmaking podcast.
It's a podcast about our lives.
Yeah.
We've covered our lives. So.
Yeah, we've covered our lives, and now it's time to talk about filmmaking a little bit. Now, we did recently get a rejection letter from the Melbourne film market, which is an excellent market that provided us amazing opportunities for I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. Now, we submitted Older, and we received our letter saying that unfortunately they had no room for us in their busy marketplace. So on the upside, that saves us about 550 Australian dollars.
Yes.
On the downside, it's a very inauspicious start to our festival run. That's the type of place where your film would get sold.
Yes.
And that is where I Survived
sold.
a Zombie Holocaust got sold, was at that film market. Shout out Cole Gadsby, who put us onto that film market, by the way.
So sadly, they did not want us back.
Yeah. Which is a real shit, because I would have liked to have attended. I've never been to Melbourne. So I would have attended, and I would have called it a Pigville business expense. It would have been 5-star hotels, hookers, blow, all of it, and Guy would be forced to go halves with me.
I would.
It'd be forced
I wouldn't really know.
You'd never know. I'd be like, so man, the bus transfer from the airport was fucking really expensive.
That's the thing. Like,
it was the exact same price as a massage with a happy ending. It was a real weird coincidence.
Yeah, and so I think, you could have got away with a lot there. But sadly, that is not to be. So Older, now, our hopes with Older rest in other areas. Now, you could actually go to the American film market, because it's not so much as like a selection thing. You just have to pay for a spot there.
And so what do? You just is it like you literally got like a stall with a poster in your movie, and you go, "Hello, sir, I'd like to introduce you to Older. It's a daring romance about growing up and our attachment to the past, and how it sometimes affects our vision of the future, sometimes for the worse."
Yeah, basically. But I think you also get a list of all the producers. Yeah. Or all the producers / distributors.
So you show up and you've got a stall. It's like Armageddon.
You show up, you got a stall. It's like Armageddon.
Yeah.
But,
and you're there with your posters, and you.
But really, that's mainly for the commoners.
Yeah.
If you're also smart, you will have organised a bunch of meetings
with a bunch of producers,
30 or 40 producers.
Yeah.
Around that stall. So you meet up with them and go, yes, this is my thing. So
how long would you be over there for?
Well, I not sure how long.
To organise all those interviews, you'd want to be up there for a wee while, I reckon.
Yeah, well, our man Bernie went to that, so we can ask him.
Yeah, well, hit him up. Bernie Rao, creator of My Lover, My Lazy Boy, which has a very promising future. So we did not get in, is the conclusion of that. We didn't get in, and yes, I would like to go to the American one. That's fine too. But how much does that cost?
Well, I think that's a real trick. I think it might be somewhere in the vicinity of like $1,000 or something for your...
Well, that's not too bad. We were about to blow 550 odd Australian dollars, which is...
I'm a little
you mean 1,000 American dollars?
Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit afraid.
Oh, we're going to have to get the 5150 in on this one.
I'm a little bit afraid that it's $1,000 US. But, again, our man... Bernie,
PayPal, pigvilleproductions@gmail.com. Go to PayPal. You can give us $1. Or you can go to patreon.com/pigville and give us $1 a month to support this hedonistic lifestyle of ours.
Bernie will be able to tell us more.
Burnster. Yes, so we didn't get in, so that's a bit of a shame. Now, I have an update on Sperm Quest. You remember Sperm Quest? Now, Sperm Quest, for those that don't remember, such as my hapless co-host, Sperm Quest was when I became a sperm... I signed up to become a sperm donor. Yeah. Now, at the time, I was deep in a relationship, and I wanted to sign up because I want to pass on my genes. I feel like it's one of those things you got to do. You got to pass on your genes, and one of the ways sort of secure a good genetic future is to spread your seed as far and as wide as you possibly can. However, I'm not interested in just impregnating random ladies and leaving them to their own devices and being a deadbeat dad. That's not my style.
Or having meaningful relationships with a singular person and raising a child as your own.
Well, my intention was to still do that. So there's no issue there, mate. That's all good. So what I was thinking was I could sign up and I could impregnate up to 10 women as a sperm donor. So I signed up. I went through quite a lengthy process, and I wanked into a cup and I presented it to the lady behind the counter, all red-faced and short of breath, and you know, and then what ended up happening was they said, oh well, you've got to you've got to get your partner in here as well and have like a communal chat session with the psychologist type person to make sure that, you know, you really understand what you're getting yourself into and that, you know, your partner is okay with it. And I was like, for fuck, how am I supposed to convince my partner to come in here and support me in my decision to impregnate up to 10 other women? You know, like that's, you know, and like Angie was very supportive of everything of it all. She never we never had a single fight about it. But I did get the impression that if I impregnated 10 women with 10 children, that, you know, it might push her away from me.
Yeah, you did get the impression that she thought you somewhat of a jackass for this ludicrous scheme.
Well, yeah. Look, okay. So anyway, the update on SpermQuest is that hang on, wait for it.
Yeah, you're just thinking.
So I'm just thinking right now about what it was again. So what it was I got approached recently by a lesbian couple that would like me to impregnate both of them for $5,000. True story. I don't make this up. I do not make this shit up. All right. So they saw me on first dates.
Yeah.
And as part of my introduction on first dates, I mentioned that I was doing this sperm donor thing, SpermQuest, you know, to spread my seed far and wide in the interest of preserving humanity's genetic future. And so anyway, she saw it.
There's not enough bald, hairy white guys. There's definitely not enough of us.
Mate, my genes are fucking top notch. I would be doing a disservice to humanity as a whole if I did not pass these puppies on. Okay? For fuck's sake, look at me. Look at me. Gaze upon me. Bask in my glory.
Not enough bald, short, hairy white guys around.
So she saw me on first dates and she brought up the sperm thing. She added me on Facebook, and bless Facebook, the kingmaker. She added me on Facebook and messaged me. Now, one of these women, the one that wants to be impregnated first, is what's known as a gold star lesbian. Do you know what that is, Guy?
I don't.
A gold star lesbian is a lesbian who's never had sex with a man. Okay. By some definitions, loose definitions, you might call her a virgin even. Now, Now, I want to pass on my genes. I do. I said I do. I've got one purpose in life. It's pass on my genes. Okay? I'm going to be the guy that drops the ball after all these generations? No, I don't fucking think so, right? So, I do want to pass on my genes, but I don't want to raise a child. You know, in terms of my lifestyle, I'm more of a cool uncle than a dad, you know? So, how can I do that? Well, I can donate to the sperm bank again and go through that whole process. But the issue is that last time, because they made me bring in my girlfriend, I ended up just putting it off and not doing it. And my blood tests and my sperm count and all that stuff, my results became irrelevant. So I had to start again from the very, very, very beginning because I let it expire. So anyway, how do I do it, right? I could go to the sperm bank and I could do that all again. Or I could have multiple threesomes with 2 lesbians and get paid $5,000 for my trouble. So that's my fucking weekend sorted, right? What do you think I should do?
Well,
obviously I'm gonna have sex with those lesbians and make 2 babies.
Yeah, like I don't have to even guess to know quite clearly and unequivocally that you will be doing 0 sleeping with them.
Well, no, I asked. I said, so would this be a natural conception?
Yeah, what they
Straight up, motherfucker. I asked. I said, would this be a natural conception?
Natural conception. with a freaking turkey baster.
No, that's not what a natural inception is, you fool. That's an artificial inception. A natural conception. A natural conception is sex. That's what a natural conception is. And I asked specifically, I said, so like, were you thinking about a natural conception or, and she was like, well, we can, like whatever. But yeah, basically that was kind of what I thought. And I was like, right. Righty-ho. Alrighty. I'm putting that in my notes. I can take this into consideration. I'll take this into consideration. So that is my weekend sorted. Yeah, but what do you reckon, Guy? Because what we'd do is we'd have contracts. Obviously, we'd have fucking airtight contracts, right? You go to the lawyer. You've got your own lawyer. They've got their lawyer. You'd get a good contract drawn up, and then it's like, bam, wham, thank you, ma'am. See you later. Then they raise my 2 kids, and I just get on with my life, enjoy my disposable income, and sleep. Happy in the knowledge that I have passed on my genes to better, humanity.
Yeah, well, I think you know what I think about that, but...
Well, the listeners don't.
Well, I think you're a fucking idiot, is what I think. And I also think this whole natural conception thing is not going to work.
What, as in what, having sex doesn't make babies?
No, as in that you having sex with them, they were going to find so distasteful that it's not going to work for either of you.
No. Well, I mean, look, if we're talking about performance anxiety, that's obviously a possibility in any, coupling.
No, I'm talking about performance disgust.
Nah. Look, they know what they're getting into.
No, they don't.
They do.
They think they do.
No, they're not.
But they haven't seen you naked. And they haven't seen you
My best friend, ladies and gentlemen.
They haven't seen you
The lackluster thruster of my semi-soft grandfather cock is attractive to some people.
They haven't seen you, this is not their world.
No, firstly, one of them has had sex with a man.
Okay.
And the other one has not had sex with a man, but said that she's open to the concept.
I think yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's be real here. Like, I don't see any real issues. Pop round for a wine, have a couple of wines, away you go. Who's your father?
You.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's...
Harley's your cool dad uncle.
I'm not sure it's
Uncle Dad.
really going to work the way you think it is, but good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, keep us updated about how that goes. You're actually a prostitute. You are being a prostitute.
That's not a prostitute.
Well, you get paid for sex.
No, I'm getting paid for procreation. These are different things. These are 2 different things. The sex is a cheap way to do it. A natural conception is the cheap way to do it.
Turkey baster is cheaper.
Me jerking off into a turkey baster and then putting it in her vagina and squirting it in there.
You don't have to squirt it in there. She'll do that.
Yeah.
That's much less traumatic for them.
Well, look, that's a possibility too. At the end of the day, I'm getting paid $5,000 to pass on my genes. Are you going to open that other birthday beer or what? Jesus, this fucking stingy guy. He's fucking laying around, saving it for later.
All right, I'm unwrapping the second beer.
Now, pro tip, while he's opening that, this is a general guideline for anyone that's coming to New Zealand, okay? All of the cities, if you're thinking about coming to New Zealand, all of the cities surrounded by flat farmland are rough shitholes. Okay? So if you think about it, you've got Hamilton, Palmerston North, Christchurch, but meanwhile all the cool cities have hills like Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch. And Dunedin. Auckland, Wellington, and Dunedin.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Russian Imperial Stout. Baltica Brew, baby.
Damn, sounds fucking heavy.
Sounds expensive.
Well, here's a bottle opener. Yeah, but anyway, that can't be a coincidence, right? So if you are visiting New Zealand and you look around and you can't see any hills, that means you're in the wrong town and you should run for the hills. That's where the saying came from, actually. Hamilton, run for the hills.
Whoa, this beer is dark. This beer is is black.
Well, that's good. Like my soul. Like this episode.
Man. Okay, quick review of this one. Holy shoot! That's strong. That is unforgiving.
That's 10%.
That is unforgiving beer.
Stone the crows. I'm glad I'm not going anywhere.
You glad you're not staying up till 7 a.m. working?
Yeah, I am glad about that.
Call centre?
So we sent away Asylum, which is the recut of Harrow. We've sent that. So Harrow, the web series, has been cut into a short film, which was always part of our plan.
A long short of 24 minutes long.
It's 24 minutes. It's finished now, and it's been submitted to 5 or so film festivals. And so we're just waiting to hear back now, really, just waiting by the phone, hoping that it'll get into those. There was only sort of 4 or so that were available right now that were suitable, that accepted films over 24 minutes, you know.
Tara Mullins, did you have a look at their criteria?
I'll have to double check, but if it was any of the ones we've submitted to before, the shortlist I created was the ones that that allowed films over 24 minutes.
Right.
So anyway, that's been submitted, but only to like 4 or 5 festivals. So hopefully it gets into at least one of them. Otherwise, we've just blown a whole bunch of American dollars.
Yeah.
On festival submissions.
And time in making that cut. And money.
Well, no, because we'll still put it out, I reckon. I reckon we'll be fine. I reckon we'll just put it out on the internet and forget about it. There's still something, you know. People can still watch it. There's still content.
Yep.
And, you know, we could put it on Patreon or something like that, just for our Patreon supporters. Facebook, Pigville, fucking patreon.com/Pigville.
True.
And, you know, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Or we just put it behind a paywall. Our No Caller ID, our short film, is soon. It's going to run out. It's the deal that we have with the distributor is going to be running out at the beginning of August, and then we can put it up online for free for people to watch publicly.
YouTube debut.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to. We could like put it behind a paywall and then kind of debut it like a $1 paywall and put it on Facebook and go, hey everybody, check out No Caller ID finally for $1. But probably we won't do that. Probably just put it on YouTube. And we'll put it on the Screamfest YouTube channel as well. They contacted us about putting it on there, and they've got like a lot of subscribers, so they'll put it up there at the same time. We'll put it up on our channel, and everyone can watch it.
Yeah, I want to see how well it does on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we should really talk about too the whole festival selection process. It's a bit of a sort of it's a very hurtful experience a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because unless you're a very successful film, probably you're looking at about a 80% rejection rate. Maybe a little bit.
And you're paying for every rejection.
Yes, so you're giving money over to kind of both dent your own ego and reduce your faith in the film that you're submitting. And that's kind of the process over and over again until you've spent a couple of $1,000s and you have not very much to show for it. So that's where we're at with 2 films at the moment. So that's cool.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing anybody can do but pray and hope. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers.
And you know, open the universe to...
gape the universe to gape some love out onto us.
Yeah. So... positive universe vibes. Now,
I have officially applied for Married at First Sight.
Oh boy, I forgot about this dumbass.
Now, I know what you're thinking, guys. You're thinking, good for you, Harley, my friend. I support you in your decisions. You might meet the love of your life. And it will also be an excellent career opportunity which will result in mainstream exposure that you will ruthlessly exploit, as you ably do. At minimum, it will be a fun adventure that you can add to your long list of hilarious life stories. Harley Neville, you're a genius. But, Guy, there are other, more cynical people in the world that might say that I have finally reached... the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
That with this single move, I have lost my credibility and become professionally and romantically corrupt. They might see this as nothing more than a desperate cry for attention from an obsolete never-was as he descends into his paunchy middle years.
Yes.
But obviously those people are fucking idiots that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm applied and I'm going to be a famous reality TV star.
Yeah.
If I get on the show. I'm going to get married to a stranger in the first episode of a reality TV show. Now I'm fucking 36, right? What's the issue? Why shouldn't I be married?
Well, you know the funny thing about all of this, right?
What?
If you were to take the cynical route there, is I noticed that you've never applied for it before when it was legally binding.
Well...
And now, all of a sudden, allegedly, this new season is not legally binding. And suddenly, old Mr. fucking Nebs pops up for love.
The Nebs?
For love.
I'm looking for love, guys.
I'm just looking for love. Of course, I'm going to throw my heart out there. It just happens not to be legally binding anymore. There's absolutely no coincidence between these two things.
I'll have you know, Guy, that season 2 was not legally binding either. And I didn't apply. Because I was too heartbroken at the time. When that was going on, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I did. It was on my to-do list. I was like, apply for maths. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. But yes. Those that know me should be a little cynical.
Yes. Well, I think my comment on your post summed it up.
What did you say?
I think I just said fame whore.
Oh, see, that's annoying. That's dumb.
Got a lot of likes.
That, what, fucking 2. It's a lot for you. It's a lot for Gary. Yeah. Fucking lot of likes. Fuck out of here. So the, what were we saying? Now, this post. I did post a status about it. Oh, yeah, no, the fame whore thing. Yeah. It's annoying. That's annoying because I tell you what, people look at me, right, and they see all these publicity stunts that I do, these public things that I've got going on and trying to do it with my social media and even this fucking podcast, and it's like, I'm not doing that to be famous. Fame is not the goal here.
Mm-hmm.
See that? You just did it right then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, fame is not the goal here, and I can't say it any more clearly. And it's not just you. There was the love of my ex, the love of my life. I feel like she often felt the same way too. Like she wasn't listening to me. And it's like, fame is not the goal. I'm not trying to be famous. If I wanted to be famous, I'd be applying for every reality show ever. What I'm doing is I see fame for what it is, which is a tool. It's a tool to be used in my filmmaking repertoire. And if we create something and I'm me now, today, okay, who gives a shit, and we'll yell about it in Yahoo. When Older comes out, we'll yell about it in Yahoo. All right, and we'll see if we can get some fucking traction online and see if anybody gives a shit. If we have to self-release this thing, it's going to be really difficult to get anybody to even notice it after 6 years. So, what are my motivations? Well, fame is a fucking tool. If I'm Harley from Married at First Sight and I've got a feature film coming out that I'm in, well, okay, that's a whole other thing. People are interested. There's an audience. I've got a whole bunch of followers and subscribers now. People will actually listen to this goddamn show.
Do you think though that there is perhaps such a thing as good fame and bad fame?
No, and this is something I've learned. Is nobody really pays too much attention. I mean, look at all the stupid shit I've done, and yet I'm more successful than ever. This is not, none of that shit's held me back. I don't feel like there's anything out there. I've got so many got not wanking, I've got disgusting hairy man, I've got the half hairy shaved face is the thing that a lot of people have seen, and yet here I am. I wouldn't take any of that shit back. So, fame is not the goal. Fame is a tool that I'm hoping to attain so that I can use it.
Fame is a pit. Or whatever that thing is.
Well,
ladder.
What your attempt
pit.
I guess if you were trying to do it, you'd say, fame is not a pit, it's a ladder. And that's fucking true. It is. Fame is a ladder. So, if I get on one of those shows, well, yeah, great. Fucking wicked. I just don't understand why it's so complicated. It's why it's so difficult to comprehend this.
Well, I think it's difficult to comprehend.
I think the issue is that because it's fun as well, people think that getting famous is fun. Therefore, you're doing it for fun, to be famous, when really it's more like, no. I've got goals, but fame is an opportunity as well that I can use, and it's a tool I can use, and it's a fun one. It's something fun to do. I like posting shit. I enjoy doing this stuff. I would have a fucking great time. If I got a Married at First Sight, I would have a fucking great time. Honestly, that would be so fun, right? I've got a fucking date and a publicity stunt rolled into one. Beautiful.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that, like, if you look at some of those people, I'm not sure, like, what you say is, hey...
We've had this argument on the show before.
But you've never attained that kind of fame, which what I'm talking about is the kind where you are well known for being on a shit show, and you are not well liked for being on a shit show.
Wrong. You're already wrong. Wrong.
And people actually... don't. So, Harley Neville actor.
Okay, no. Stop it. All of these people that you see on these shows are not capitalizing in the ways that I would capitalize. See, here's the trick. I've got a huge backlog of work behind me, right? And when people search for me, they're going to find me because of the reality show, and the reality show is going to be a flash in the pan thing, and then they're going to remember me for I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, for Older, for No Caller ID, for everything else we put out, for Disgusting Hairy Man, for all the good shit.
But what if they don't?
Well, okay, fucking who gives a shit? Like, then, what? Who gives a shit? What if they don't? What do you mean? What if they don't go through to look? A certain percentage of them won't go through and look at our shit.
Well, I guess,
but a lot of them will, and our traffic will go up.
Well, I guess, but what if, like, really...
Since when did I really give a fuck what people think?
But what if you're defined by appearing on this silly reality show?
I hear what you're saying. I'm literally not concerned with that happening. People are going to find the reality show, and they're going to find Disgusting Hairy Man. That's going to define me. They're going to find the reality show, and they're going to find all of this other shit behind us. And then when something new comes out, people are going to forget about it. Like, there's lots of celebrities that have started their careers with some shitty show, some shitty reality show, or a crap role on a shit soap, and then grown from that. It's just an opportunity that they've got to seize.
Who?
Kylie fucking Minogue. Like anybody. Like anybody who started with a reality... The fucking Kardashians started with a reality show. Like all of these reality show people who went on to have mainstream success. Fucking Kelly... what's her name? That fucking... some singer. There's heaps of people who got started with like American Idol and all those types of things.
But could Kim Kardashian be in a Steven Spielberg film?
I don't know. I'm not trying to be in a fucking Steven Spielberg film. Can Harley Neville be in a Steven Spielberg film?
Yes!
Why?
But not if he's on maths, maybe.
Who? Okay, so I should say no to the opportunity today because tomorrow Steven Spielberg is going to cast Harley Neville in his latest blockbuster. Come on, bro. You got to keep up here. You got to seize the opportunities you have. You make money today when you can make it. And like tomorrow's not promised, so you just got to go, okay, what can I do today? I can do this or this. If I choose this, this is what I reckon will happen. If I choose that, that's what I reckon will happen. Which one of these opportunities looks better to me? Well, I can keep on fucking plugging along and doing fuck all, or I can take this huge opportunity to raise my profile up to the status of primetime TV in every household in New Zealand for however many weeks or months. That's a big opportunity, and 1 year from now, it'll be finished. And I'll be on to the next thing. I'll be moving on, like it's fine. And I don't give a shit if people go, oh, that's the guy from Married at First Sight. I'll go, yeah, well, cool. Check out my other shit too. Search Pigville on YouTube. But you know, just like I normally do.
But you don't think that, for instance, when like directors are looking...
I don't care, man. Honestly, I'm not even really pushing that much for the acting and stuff at the moment. I've never cared. I've never ever cared about opportunities tomorrow. This is one of the biggest beefs I have with my agent. Is like they're like, some electronics company offers me an ad for $2,000 for the day. And I'm like, well, fuck, that's way too low for my agent. My agent won't be keen. But I'm like, I've got an option. I can say yes and just do it and take the $2,000 for a day's work, or I can put it through my agent. And I do. And then it always comes back to the same shit, which is that they don't want me to do it. And it's like, I want to make $2,000 today. And the reason they don't want me to do it is because tomorrow I might get an ad for a bigger electrical company that pays $10,000 instead of $2,000, but I can't get it because I've already done this $2,000 ad. And there's something to be said for that. That's not wrong. It's totally not wrong. But in my particular case, with my career and what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm trying to build, I'm like, fuck it, give me the money today. I'll figure out the next shit tomorrow. I'm not going to say no to good opportunities. for imaginary ones. Married at first sight. It's the next big thing. It's my next big step. The problem is that people are going to listen to this show, and like as soon as I get on the fucking show, they're going to mine this quote, this exact fucking sentence that I'm saying right now. Hello, everybody. Hey, all you dickheads that are finding me right now because of Married at First fucking Sight. Here I am. You fucking got me. Yeah. So anyway, they're going to find this shit. I hadn't really intended to go this deep.
You just started ranting.
No, here's what we're doing.
I've
got no fucking issue. Here's the thing. The 5150 would never betray me.
Well, no, they wouldn't.
But it's not the 5150. It's the people that find me afterwards and then go find the Guy and Harley podcast.
Journalists going to do some digging.
Oh, and not just journalists, just anybody. Some fucking knobhead on Twitter. That's what you got to be nowadays to get on to be a journalist. You're some fucking knobhead on Twitter. How many fucking times do you read a story and it goes, the story tells a story. A bus crashed into a car. And then in the story, the journalist has quotes from Twitter but one Twitter user thought that the car driver was in the wrong. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? How is that Twitter? Anyway, I'm angry about Twitter.
I'm angry about journalist quotes from people tweeting about events.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a pet peeve of mine as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I scroll right past that shit, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man. Who gives a shit what this fucking mum from South Dunedin reckons? Fuck her.
Moving on.
Sorry, South Dunedin.
South Dunedin mums. Sorry, South Dunedin mums.
Sorry, South Dunedin mums. That's where I'm from. I grew up in South Dunedin.
Yeah. Your mum was a South Dunedin mum.
My mum was a South Dunedin mum.
So.
But she shouldn't be on the news. Like for opinions about stuff. Unless it's something she's qualified on,
Yeah. Like being in South Dunedin.
Yeah.
Being a mum in South Dunedin.
Exactly. If the story was about that, then fair enough.
Well, have you watched any of the new Black Mirror? Can we talk a little bit about that?
No. I haven't finished the old Black Mirror.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not fucking happening, mate. I'm up to like the last season of whatever the old one stuff is.
Okay, you're getting there.
So I'm getting there. And I'm halfway through it as well. Probably halfway through it. So I am getting there. The last one I watched was a dumb one about these silly little robots that hunt people around the countryside. And I wasn't really feeling it too much.
Oh, yeah, that was... I like that as a watch, but it wasn't an amazing episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it back. I wasn't like, fucking, I need to turn this off. But
it was a cool, tense episode, but it was just like... Cool.
I didn't like the acting. The lead actor, I did not enjoy her performance. Yeah, maybe and
she was a bit...
She was real wooden and like...
Something off about it, maybe in some bits.
It felt... And there was too much swearing. Like, it was like they were like, okay, cool, so come through here and just like make up some stuff as you go. And of course, if nobody tells you what to say and you're not very good at improv and you just go, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, shit, fuck, or something like that, which is what she did a lot of, which I also did a lot of, and I survived a zombie holocaust.
Also, yeah, I had to ADR a fuck in an older, like, when I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
We're going to have to ADR that ADR.
Yeah.
Because that fuck was the least authentic fuck I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. Terrible. ADR, I've realised, not one of my strong suits.
No? Well, it's tough. ADR is very, very tough. Aside from the fact that it's very difficult to make a microphone sound like the same environment that the picture is in, there's also, it's just hard yakka to do that acting without like hamming it up too bad, because it's like, here, you're standing in a studio, but imagine that you can see the ghost coming at you right now, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Or imagine you're in this intimate scene between someone that you're really in love with, and now go at this exact time and stop at this exact time, and you're going to hear some beeps.
It's got to be real exact. It's got to be super exact as well.
These beeps will time you in to know your exact timing.
What happens is you're watching the screen of the scene and you're wearing headphones, and then you know the line. You look at the script beforehand, and the line beforehand is, "But I love you, baby." And then so you're listening to the headphones, you're listening to the scene, and it goes, they're talking away or whatever, and then it goes, dude, I love you, baby. and then you listen, you play it back and see if it works and if it sounds right and if it lines up, if the lips sync and all that stuff. So it can be quite difficult to get it right and get the emotion right.
In saying that, a lot of things are made better by ADR, where you kind of ADRing in just some little key point, which is what you did.
Additional dialogue recording.
Which you did in one
older.
of the scenes of Older.
I recently did some ADR.
And at the end, you said, I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, I added an extra line.
And it was actually very good. It really kept the scene off and kind of sent us on our way on to the next scene.
Yeah, well, one of my concerns with my character was that he was never repentive for his types of behavior. And so, this was a good way to kind of like hint at that. I gave my character more depth with 3 little words.
And actually, you can do that. And also, sometimes you can adjust
4 little words.
The sort of the power in the scene, who has the power, by sort of adjusting the ADR. If someone was too kind of demonstrative or something on the day, and then you go, look, we want you to come stronger at this person, that then sometimes you can sort of readdress things like that, or Harley's classic in the zombie film. You weren't really you're not very scared here. You need to act a little bit more scared.
Is that my classic?
Yeah, or...
Well, as in you would tell me that.
Yeah, or you're not really...
You'd be like, Harley, you're not really acting.
Yeah, or Harley, you're not really...
This is a very frightening situation.
Yeah, or Harley, you've just had your hand cut off. You're not really conveying much pain. With your...
Yeah, I feel like that annoyed me. I was like, what the fuck else would I do? Like, I was thinking, like, what else would I do? And honestly, I'm a tank when it comes to pain. I'm good. I don't know how to express too much pain.
Never broken a bone in your body.
Never broken a bone. Sounds about
but an absolute tank.
But I base this off my tattooing. I've been like, I get tattooed for like not kidding, like 30, 40 hours, worth of tattooing in my life. I don't even know how many. A lot. And I sat down and did like a 6-hour one once. 6 hours worth of tattooing.
One of the listeners on
so shout out Mr. Mr. Marmac.
He suggested I poke you really hard to see if you feel pain.
If I say, I'm not saying I don't feel it.
You're just saying you don't convey it well as an actor.
I'm just saying I don't convey it well. No, I'm saying
you're a shit actor.
I just feel like I don't express a lot when I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Too much.
Guess what, mate?
What?
That don't fucking work for the movies.
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not really an expressive, emotive person. So, so that's why I'm not really doing too much.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of my personality. Oh, that's cool, man. That's great. That's your fucking personality.
What I need is the character.
The fucking
who's
film,
in pain.
The character. The fucking film sucks now because you're... Anyway. So that was probably your number one thing on the zombie film, if I recall. I told you, which I'm sure can you remember what I told you to do when it comes to feeling pain?
No.
I was like, go and watch fucking Harrison Ford in movies. See how he reacts to pain.
What does he do?
I need some of that. He just conveys it very well. Like he's been, like you always believe that Harrison Ford has been beat the shit out of before.
Yeah.
Because of the way that he sells a punch or whatever on things. So I was like, get into that. Get into some of that. And I was like, watch Blade Runner because his fingers get broke. He gets fucked up by a replicant. And I was like, watch that. And guess what?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't fucking watch it. You didn't do any of that. And then you got there on the day, you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. That's how you responded to those suggestions.
No, I never said I don't know how to do that. I would never say I don't know how to do that. That doesn't sound like something I'd say under any circumstances.
No, I don't really know how to do that. What do you want from me? I told you what I wanted. Oh, I didn't watch those. Sorry, we're here now. How much is the studio time costing?
We weren't in a studio for the hand cut day. We were in a bloody old house. Freaking full of shit. You can barely remember any of it.
I should probably get going. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So we've got about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I will just quickly mention that I watched a movie review. John Wick Chapter 3. Best John Wick so far. And John Wick Chapter 1 was very good. They really topped their stuff. The beauty of it is yes, there's visual effects. No, you don't know when the fuck they're happening. So that's how movies should be made, is that you're not aware of the shit happening. It's all happening to make things safer and conceal things and all that sort of thing to make these shots seem epic. But super well done. Great action, great spectacle. Very well choreographed in the sense that I don't mean in the sense of the actual fights, because of course they were well choreographed, but also like visually, the biggest problem with American films is they cut things all the time, because essentially they're big movie stars, either become stuntmen halfway through the scene, or they look like shit because they don't really commit to like learning something for a year before they do it. So you kind of get these real super shaky cam, lots of cuts. You're like, what the fuck happened? Did he punch that guy? Did he kick him? Is he reacting to the punch, or is the other guy reacting to something else? You just don't know what the fuck is going on. Whereas the sort of Hong Kong style of action filmmaking is those guys can all actually do it. So when you watch a Jackie Chan film, it looks amazing. And they sort of definitely took a leaf out of that style. So if you're looking for some action, if you're looking for some cool neon cityscapes, if you're looking for a little bit of humor as well, John Wick Chapter 3, get out there and see it. I thought Chapter 2...
I should probably check out John Wick 1.
Chapter 1. Yeah, so I thought Chapter 1 was very good. I thought Chapter 2...
Is John Wick 1 based off a previous movie?
No.
So that was the first one?
Yeah.
It was called John Wick 1.
No, it's just called John Wick. I just added Chapter 1 because now we've got into Chapter 3.
Right.
But, that was essentially Keanu Reeves' return to form since The Matrix 1. And, it's good shit. And this one is like, 2 was kind of a bit of a, took it too far, not so good. And then this third one is like, fuck, damn. It's good stuff.
Oh, well, good. All right, then.
Okay. Got anything else? We've got 2 minutes.
I don't know. I mean, geez, you really put me on the spot there. No.
All right. Well, can we get an update on your ex-girlfriend?
Well, I mean, she is still pregnant with somebody else's child, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Have you guys been in communique?
I sent her some selfies today, so I'm sure she appreciates those. Never. No, I'm not been seen. No, I'm kidding. But I did send her a selfie. But no, we've not been hanging out too much. We've not been chatting too much. Oh man, see, it always happens that at the end of the show, that's when everybody shows up on the live stream. So shout out Godzilla NZ, who says that Harley can only be cast as Harley, obviously. That's fine. I'm like Johnny Depp in that sense. I'm just Johnny Depp in everything I do.
Really? Because Johnny Depp has
Depp, everything he does.
A lot
still
of
Johnny.
Style.
He's still Johnny. So I'm like that. I'm Harley. Harley Depp.
He does a lot of kind of accents and different types of things.
Joe's Piggy 43. Yeah. Do I see a Pigville that I can join with? Yes, you do, for the next 80 seconds or so.
Well, I tell you what. If you think that Harley can only be Harley Neville, wait till you get a load of this next role he's going to do.
What's that one?
Well, actually, if it turns out to be the project, then you'll be playing Harley Neville.
Literally playing Harley Neville.
If it ends up being this movie that we're working on, then
The Family.
You'll
La Familia. You
will really be stretching yourself as an actor.
Yeah.
Be exciting to see.
Gaping my acting abilities.
Yeah. Well, I guess we better go.
All right, then.
Got to get ready for work, man.
Okay, cool. Well, it's been good fun, and we will catch you dudes next week, hopefully. We won't make it too long next time. And make sure you go hit like on all the stuff, facebook.com/GuyandHarley, youtube.com/Pigville2. Find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Pigville. You can give us $1 a month and we'll just keep on keeping on. And I'm also on OnlyFans. I'm a gay porn star now. And I've got 7 subscribers at the moment. 7 subscribers paying $5 a month. I had 10 for a while there, which was $50 US a month. And all I'm doing is gaping, fisting, autofellatio, all those types of things. So I'm not compromising my integrity in any way. So you can find me on OnlyFans by searching for Hairy Navel. That's my, so that nobody knows who I am. Hairy Navel. But it's navel. It's spelt like navel, like belly button. Don't spell hairy navel like the Navy, because I did that on all my watermarks for a while. It's bad.
All right. See you later, guys.